Good afternoon. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Jay Lucas era. It not only arrived last week, but it was cemented. The rest of the country must be aware of what's going on in Coral Gables. Jay Lucas, the Miami Hurricanes. If you thought that was a signature win at home against North Carolina, I've been watching Miami beat up on North Carolina and Duke for years. Jim Larinaga set that standard. What you saw today was a gutsy win when a team wasn't hitting free throws, as we've had an issue with all year. A team that was 3-17 from the three-point line, a team that was down by 5-6 points there with 50 seconds left in the game, and you saw a team that did not give up. And you saw a team win a game a way that you've seen Miami lose games in the past, pressing. Being composed when you get the ball back, hitting those 3 free throws by True Washington was, I mean, look, I think we're all sitting there like, at least let's hit. Oh, excuse me. I'm hearing the mic is messed up. Hold on a second. How do we sound now, man? How do we sound now? I apologize. I have to do that whole thing over again. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a we're good to go or something. Please let me know. I apologize for that. I'm scrambling right now because of how all right, we're good now. Jay Lucas era. I'll say it once again. Jay Lucas era. You saw a team win this game today when everything was not perfect. The free throw shooting has been an issue. The three-point shooting, 3-17. But what happens down the stretch? You press them. You rattle them. And by the way, this is an NC State team that had a lot of fake juice, a lot of fake bravado down the stretch as we saw there, because they were, that dude should have been ejected, by the way. Williams, who kicked Trey Donaldson, right? They gave him the technical, should have been ejected. If he lands on Trey, then a full-out brawl breaks out here. So to me, this is a team right now that's sitting at 20-5. And I said this on Friday at Duffy's when we did our show. We were looking at this team as, hey, they're a bubble team. Can they win the games they're supposed to win there? Can they beat the Florida States, Boston Colleges of the world that they have here? And then maybe they knock off a Louisville. Maybe they knock off a Virginia. Maybe they split these 2 games here. And after beating North Carolina the way you did, and by the way, physically brutalizing them, hate to see the injury to Caleb Wilson, and he did it falling on a play there. That's not what you want to see. But both him and their big man was banged up as well. Miami brutally dominated that game from a physical standpoint. What you saw today against a Will Wade team, that he builds his team on this bravado, and he builds his team on trying to bully the other team. And Miami, I don't want to say took it to them. That was a heck of a game. Jay Lucas, after the game here, had very interesting comments. He said this ACC, to him, is up there as the second best conference in America. And he did not mention the SEC, by the way. He said the Big Ten and the Big 12. Those were the 2 other conferences that were, and the Big Ten being at the top of it, right? So I thought that was interesting. But what Miami did today is cement themselves not only as a tournament team, which that you saw the numbers today, 91% after this win today. But what they did today was get themselves ranked now. To me, this is a top 20 team in the country based off what we're seeing right here, right now. And if people want to argue with that, I'm fine with it. But the way this team is playing right now 3 wins in a row. You got Virginia Tech, who just got beat by 23 at home today against Florida State. You got to keep that foot on the gas, because like I said, why are we thinking about this as a 10 seed, 11 seed? Why can't this team finish this season strong now when you have you have plenty of opportunities now ahead of you with Virginia Tech? You have 21-3, number 15 ranked Virginia that might be in the top 12 or 13 now this upcoming week, and you have them at Virginia next weekend, right? And you're battle tested now in a road environment that, like you just saw today against NC State. So why can't this team go beat a number 15 ranked Virginia? And then you have opportunities against an SMU that's right now seated higher than Miami. Then you have Louisville to finish the season at home. Why can't they go on a run here? And you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games left here. Why can't you go 5-1 here and this be a 7 or 8 seed? That's what I'm asking right now. because the standard, Jim Larinaga set the standard here. It was been a bad couple years. I think people forgot what he built, unfortunately, because of how bad it was. But Jay Lucas came in here, foot on the gas, running right away with very high expectations for the team, not only to make the tournament, and we'll see if they're built for it as we keep questioning the shooting. It's going to come back to bite them one day. It might, but today wasn't that day. It has earlier in the season. It almost was today, but let's look at how they fought back into this one. Right, True Washington. Shout out to Flankerton here. His first game back today was unbelievable. He had some drives to the basket. He was blocked a few times, stuck with it. Right, hit a big three in the corner in the second half there. And after his absence here the last 3 games, you wonder how's he going to respond in the road in that environment. Dante Allen missed a couple free throws, but the positive game-winning plays he was making today. He had one of the steals there down the stretch, and then gave it to Trey, and he got fouled. Backing up says crazy last minute. I love that chaos. And by the way, Miami as the team down on the road was the more composed team. Explain that to me. That's coaching. I love having a guard. It's like you see a lot of times in football, these quarterbacks, right, are the guys who turn into coaches. You say, well, your quarterback, he knows how to manage situations as a coach. It helps that he's been there. The point guard, I think very similarly the way that, and Jay Lucas obviously relying on his staff as well. You seeing at the end him trying to figure out, do we foul? And you had Copeland miss a free throw there at the end of the game that got Miami the ball back, and then they had to get the ball back again. It was just an insane finish to that game. Buddy Johnson says Jay Lucas brought the identity he learned at Duke. This isn't just a Duke thing, man. And I'll take a second here to kind of like rewind and explain to people why I've been so fired up about this hire from day one, right? When Kane's Insight broke the news last year, when he was still finishing up at Duke. This is a guy that he was most recently at Duke, but this guy has worked under Calipari. He's been with Shaka Smart. He's been at Texas. He's been, as we just saw here with Coach K. I'm not even going to mention John Shire, that clown. Coach K. So it's not just he's learned from one person. He has been around, and obviously his father, the tutelage that he had, he played for Billy Donovan at Florida, played for Rick Barnes at Texas. So you're talking about a guy who's been molded in this and is a monster recruiter. It's not just the coaching side of it. Like everyone said coming in here, he's going to recruit well. We've seen him. We saw him land Shelton Henderson. We saw him land Dante Allen. We've seen him now land Caleb Gaskins, a top 10, 15 player in the country. More to come now, and we saw the work he did in the portal. But you add the recruiting stuff that we knew he was going to do with the top-notch coaching that we're seeing in these game situations. Like, man, the games that Miami's won this year, what are we all saying? Free throw shooting. And shooting, it's just not there on the roster right now, which we understand. He put the roster together, but he's put a roster together that can compete and win and be tough right now. And that's what they are doing. And I love, again, this is where I go back to the coaching side of it. The players' strengths are being magnified. That's, to me, what coaching is. You can say, well, they don't have this, they don't have that, they don't have a guy who can really go. Malik Renew can get his own bucket. I think we see he was such a go-to guy today, 26 points. But you take what each of these guys do well and you magnify those things. You put the ball in Trey Donaldson's hands, and yes, the shooting isn't as consistent as you would like. He had a wide open shot there, and he didn't even, it didn't look like a good shot. Missed a free throw there. Was 4 for 4 previously before that. Well, 6 for 6 really. So he had a pretty good day from the line. But like, what does Trey Donaldson do well? He attacks. He's a great decision maker. He can facilitate. He can get into the lane, right? He can get to his spots. He can finish through contact. So magnify those things and then surround him with some pieces that, yes, you wish there was another shooter here or there, but you coach these guys into doing what they're great at. Shelton Henderson took a couple threes at the end of shot clock, was wide open. He needed to, and we need him to continue to develop that part of his game. But what is he doing all game long? Getting downhill. Getting to his spots, finishing at the hoop, grabbing boards, playing good defense, right? So, and you look at what he did today: 7 rebounds, 7 defense rebounds, 2 offensive boards, so 9 boards for him. And by the way, this was an NC State team who leads the conference in 3-point shooting at 40%. They were 9 of 24 today, and really a lot of those were those deep shots by O'Neal, who he had a 40-something point game earlier this year. He can light it up. Their best player to me was Matt Abel today, which he obviously was a former Hurricane commit. They were talking about trying to keep him in the class, and it looks like he made a good decision for himself at NC State there. But that was a heck of a ball game, man. Dante Allen, 6 points, does a lot of stuff that just doesn't show up in the stat sheet. But looking at it here, Shelton Henderson, 17 points, 8 for 13 from the field. He was 0 for 4 from 3. I didn't realize he had taken 4. I thought it was 2, maybe 3. But a couple of those, really at least 2 of those, because those are the ones I remember, were wide open looks kind of at the end of the shot clock. So I can't blame him there. But 17-9 for him. Malik Renew, unbelievable. He really kept Miami in the game for stretches there in the first half. And then there in the second half, he hit hit a 3-point shot that was major for Miami. And then just his hands, like they had 2-3 people on him. They were swiping at it, and he was doing a phenomenal job keeping the ball away from them. Ernest Uday, only 1 point, but some huge boards from him today, 8 of those. He had a massive block that he was guarding 2 guys underneath the hoop. They dumped it down to their guy. He was turned the other way and still flipped his body around and made the block. Great job by him there. Timo Malovich, he missed a couple threes today, but defensively, he does some stuff that people may think, hey, he's a European guy, needs to put some weight on. Isn't as physical as you'd like him to be yet, but he can really move his feet. He's 6'9". His length gives people issues defensively, so he's giving you some minutes that you may not necessarily realize. And then True Washington, again, I buried the lead here a bit. I talked about it in the beginning, but the free throw shooting at the end, I'm thinking, man, make 2 and take this thing to overtime. Makes all 3 of them. Great defense at the end of the game. You keep the hands completely up. If they make that shot, I'm heartbroken. I'm probably not doing this live, but you can't really be upset about how it came out, right? It was a heave of a shot. So just a character building win. I think the confidence of this team has to be sky high. 20, I don't know. What do you guys think? Maybe 22nd, 23rd ranked team coming into next week. I think people are going to really have to start to sit down and look at the resume and say, shoot, this team's only lost 5 games and they're playing the ACC, and they're now taking a look at these ACC standings here. I've been joking around about the ACC title still being alive, but really what it is you want to get that double bye. You want to be one of the top 10 teams in the top 10, one of the top 4 teams here in the ACC, and you get that double bye. Right now, with this win today, Miami has slotted into that spot as the 4 seed in the tournament, and they're there, man. I mean, if they beat Virginia right now, is sitting at 2nd place behind Duke, who's 12-1, and Virginia's 10-2. Clemson's 10-3 ahead of Miami. Clemson has that tiebreaker with the head-to-head win over the Canes, but if Miami beats Virginia next Saturday and they win this game this week against Virginia Tech, then Miami would then in turn jump over Virginia and hop into the top 3 of the ACC. So thank you, Jay Lucas, for reminding me and the Hurricanes fan base that we are blue blood, right? We shouldn't expect what we expected before. It's what I tried to tell you guys after that Duke game, right? Like, that was the one that people, and I hope the fan base gets out there on Tuesday. I hope the students understand what's at stake here moving forward. This is not a bubble team. I'm going to keep saying it over and over again. This is not a bubble team. This is better than that. This team can make a run here. I'm not saying they're going to be a Sweet 16 team. I don't know how things play out. I don't know what the matchups are. But this team is better than a 10, 11, last 4 in type of team that they've been slotted as, because they haven't had these opportunities to play good teams until this point. You obviously you had BYU and Florida early, but this team was not. They hadn't played together yet. So right now, I like how this team is playing, and you match them up against a lot of teams in the country, and I like how they can go. I really, really like how they can go 1 to 5 from a physicality and athleticism, from a defensive standpoint. Just like guys aren't going to get blown by. They're going to keep people in front. They're going to make shots difficult. You saw the shots NC State, the O'Neal kid was hitting in that second half. It was step back 3-point shots. It was he was having to take 3-4 dribbles, take long range shots. Like, yeah, you're going to face some teams that have guys like that. But if that's how they're doing it, I'll live. I really will, man. So shout out to wouldn't you like to know, says we be steady Morgan. Yeah, man. Will Wade is, and I've been a fan of his. I really have. But I heard so many people say last year during this coaching search, hey, man, why isn't Miami going after Will Wade? Who cares about the NCAA stuff? And I don't care about the fact that he got in trouble with LSU. But the pedigree that Jay Lucas had was top notch, and I think it was just such a good fit for Miami. Will Wade has been doing great things at NC State. That's a tournament team without a doubt. But I like Jay Lucas at Miami. That's what I like, and I hope he's here for a very long time. I hope the fan base gets behind him and this team, because this is just year one, man. Like, people were laughing at me a couple weeks ago and telling me I didn't watch college basketball when I said this roster, the way it was trending, and you got some stuff that needs to happen, but this roster is going to be a top 20 team preseason next year. And I might have undersold it depending on what happens in the transfer portal here coming forward. And I like how Miami stands in their chances to land another top 80 guy here in Peck. So yeah, man, that's pretty much all I got. Shout out to, as always, for the basketball coverage, Aries Law, specializing in trust, estate, probate, corporate law, and more. Check them out, AriesLawPA.com. Schedule your free consultation today. Protect the people and assets you value most. Plan your future. And I gotta say, I've been shouting out our new partners at Chill Zone AC, Chill Zone Air Conditioning. I'm in this house sweating right now because of how that came in. And I have this jacket on too, but I need to call up Chill Zone Air Conditioning, chillzoneac.com. Installation, repairs, much more. Your comfort isn't just a temperature setting, it's a promise. Facing an AC issue, figuring out if it's a fix or a replacement is best can be a struggle. With our skilled touch and expert knowledge, we manage your AC needs, ensuring your space remains a haven of relief throughout every season. Installation, repair, maintenance. Shout out to Melissa and team at Chillzone AC. chillzoneac.com, and then contact them. Call them at 786-378-2778. Thank you to our friends at Chill Zone Air Conditioning. You can check them out as well on Instagram, servicing Tampa down all the way down here in Miami, South Florida. So check them out, Chill Zone Air Conditioning. I'm sweating right now after that one, man. Unbelievable. Let me look at some of these comments, man. I've been going hard here. Kermit Russell says, there's the Pete we love. I can't wait to watch these highlights again, man. I was honestly like, it's Valentine's night. I did my Valentine's festivities last night, but I still got some stuff to do tonight, and I want to be in a good mood. And I was kind of like, man, I got to get myself excited here. When there was a couple of minutes left, I'm like, I got to get myself up. Got to get myself some energy, because it would be a disappointing one if not, like, I'd be down in the dumps, because this was a good NC State team on the road who was favored, but this was a team that this is a game that with the free throw shooting and all that, they could have won. And I'm sitting there trying to get myself up, and they finish it off there. So I got a smile on my face the rest of the night. Canes Cats Heat 305. He's got some choice words there for Will Wade in the comments. But yeah, man, I generally like Will Wade, but I gotta say, man, my good friend Cowboy, Big CJ Sanchez, man, he even texted me this morning about the Wolfpack, and my friend's been a little little quiet this afternoon, so I can't wait to check on him. I know he was happy about the Madrid result earlier this afternoon, but Will Wade, baby. I'll take Jay Lucas all day long till the cows come home. Jay Lucas era. Don't expect what you expected before, my friends. It's serious. I love Miami moving forward here. 20-5, 9-3 in ACC play. Let's go finish this ACC runoff strong. Let's go finish 15-3. Maybe Duke drops a couple, baby. Let's go win the rest of these. Maybe Duke drops a couple. And then we're looking at some tiebreaker scenarios. So I love me a tiebreaker scenario. Wouldn't that be poetic? Wouldn't that be poetic if Miami can go get an ACC title or at least a share, a co-regular season champs with Duke based off a tiebreaker in basketball? Flip the script on them dummies. Go Canes. Appreciate you all for supporting today. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. See you guys